Have you ever wished you could stand completely unshakable against a tide of intense criticism and painful betrayal? Many of us follow the common advice to build walls, act stoic, and pretend we couldn't care less. Yet the physical reality often contradicts this facade. Even when you claim to be unbothered, to suppress your emotions for safety makes you a permanent hostage to unpredictable external events and the actions of those around you. The armor you've spent years building acts as a heavy, suffocating cage, trapping you within a cycle of fear. To understand why these defenses fail, we look to the work of Carl Jung. He observed a psychological reality that challenges our common assumptions about emotional control. Jung proposed that the pain we experience from the external world reflects what has not yet been integrated internally. External abandonments or betrayals only carry the power to wound us if they find a matching, unaddressed trauma already existing within our psyche. Emotional armor fails because it tries to block an enemy that has already made its way inside the walls. Suffering persists when you believe you can dictate how the world treats you through a flawless performance of strength or goodness. This creates a dependency. If your peace of mind requires other people to change their behavior, you remain permanently tethered to their actions. Consider why specific insults devastate you, while other people seem entirely unaffected by those same words. These moments reveal your shadows, the sensitive, repressed aspects of your identity that have been swept under the psychological rug, where they remain active and tender. Our sense of vulnerability often stems less from the cruelty of others and more from the shadows we refuse to acknowledge within ourselves. There is a cruel irony in this defense. The harder you try to outrun emotional pain, the more aggressively it hunts you. Adopting a cold, untouchable exterior forces your feelings deep into the unconscious mind rather than eliminating them. Once ignored, this pain often mutates into chronic anxiety, apathy, or self-sabotage. The ego's attempt to shield you results in a state of exhausting, constant hypervigilance. This defensive numbing creates a high-pressure psychological environment, leaving you vulnerable to a sudden internal collapse. Jung suggested a different path, called individuation, a process of radical integration that prioritizes wholeness over the stress of perfection. Developing this internal stability requires you to confront your persona, the mask of collective convenience you have worn to fit into the world. This work involves tearing away that comfortable false mask to finally look at your deepest shame and hidden anger. Once you look these flaws in the eye and acknowledge their presence, they lose much of their capacity to dictate your reactions. Stepping out from behind the performance suggests that suffering was not an endpoint, but a necessary gateway to becoming whole. When you have already explored your own shame and your own fear of abandonment, external insults find very little remaining to use against you. Resilience grows from clarity, diving into life so deeply that the actions of others lose their capacity to unmoor you. As Jung famously noted, what you resist persists, what you accept transforms. Make a commitment to this process today. Go to the comments and write, "I choose awareness." If this shift in perspective was helpful, subscribe to continue the journey of facing your shadow.